Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's time for game number 4 between Dimaga and Goody, and this time around it's going to be on one of the new GSL maps, I believe. It is called Terminus RE. And I don't know what the RE stands for. Actually, I think it stands for Remake, because I believe Terminus, don't quote me on this, I believe Terminus is one of the old Brood War maps, so RE may stand for Remake. I know they remade a lot of the old maps like Sin Chukong Ryung into a new map. I already forget the name. But yeah, there's a lot of remakes, obviously, and this is Terminus, which is a super large map. Remember, this is game 4 between Goody and Dimaga. Terran versus Zerg, I almost forgot his name right there. And of course, super huge map. Look at the size of this map. And yeah, I remember casting a game on this a long time ago, and I was like, guys, what the hell is this supply depot for? But I have recently discovered, thanks to you guys posting down in the comments below, the reason for the supply depot is down at the ramp below to the natural expansion for every base is because it helps block off any cheese opening, like blocking off the ramp with pylons, blocking off the ramp with bunkers, and essentially it's kind of helpful for Zerg. So it's a nice little help for Zerg when Zergs were having a lot of trouble with players blocking off the natural expansion. So that kind of helps Dimaga a little bit, but honestly we don't really see that kind of play all too often anymore because Blizzard has patched it. It now requires 3 bunkers instead of 2, and essentially it requires 3 pylons instead of 2 to block off these huge ramps. And so I don't think we're going to see anything tricky or cheesy like that. Also, fun to note, there are 4 Xel'Naga watchtowers in the center, along with this what seems to be a nuclear power plant over here. But no, it does not, blow up and cause nuclear destruction all over the map. So, how cool would that be? A lot of the cool GSL maps, especially in Brood War, I don't know why I call it GSL. Basically, all the cool maps in Brood War, they had like cool little artifacts and things like that. And how awesome would that be to have some kind of a neutral structure that if you attack, it just blows up and does damage over a huge surface area like a nuclear power plant. In fact, I would like it if someone made a map like that. If someone made a cool map like that, I would love to feature it in the tournament that I have coming up. In fact, if you guys haven't heard about it, I am holding a tournament. It's called the HD World Tournament, and the 16 players have been locked down. The official start date should be beginning within a couple of days, maybe a week at the latest. I just want to finalize a couple last details. The sponsors, once again, are IGN and Justin TV. And so it's going to be a 16-player invitational tournament, similar to HDH, but not quite as big in terms of prize pool. But still, it's going to be an awesome cast of players. The players obviously extremely top-tier level, including Whitera, TLO, Dimaga. Hey, Dimaga, he's actually playing in this tournament, in this game right now. So a little bit of a preview, I guess you guys could say. And yeah, if you guys can make a map with like a nuclear power plant that is actually balanced and is cool and fun, maybe I'll throw it in the map pool. Maybe if not for HD World Tournament number 1, maybe for number 2, because I do plan on making a ton of tournaments, guys. So definitely stay tuned for that. So getting back to the game at hand here, we actually have Dimaga, of course, establishing the early hatcheries. If you guys were wondering what that whizzing sound there, right there is, it is the Xel'Naga watchtower. The guys over in South Korea decided to add in a cool sound effect because apparently the other sound effect just wasn't awesome enough. So we do have a new sound effect for that, and it looks like Dimaga is going to be pushing around the map with 1 Zergling. He just wants to do a little bit of scouting duty here, and he wants to see what Goody is up to. Goody does have his Hellion coming out, and this time around we do have a starport, and nice play right there. Goody, this time, note, raising the supply depot and blocking the Zergling from running in. So very crucial right there, not allowing Dimaga to see the starport. So right now, Dimaga is operating under the dark. He doesn't know what is coming out, and his overlords are very, very far away. And of course, with Marines already perched around the area, it's highly unlikely that the overlord is going to scout the cloaked banshees. Oh wow, we have cloaked banshees coming out for Goody, and this could be a pretty quick game here, guys, because Dimaga just started his lair. And so let's see, the timing for a cloak takes about 110 seconds. Lair takes 80 seconds. So I guess we're gonna have overseers out in time to deal with cloak banshees. But remember, Dimaga needs queens. He needs at least 3 queens, 1 at every base, and then 1 extra to deal with the banshees. So unless Dimaga starts to pump out a couple extra queens right now, I think he could be in a lot of trouble, guys. And do note, Goody right now throwing down his command center, so he's looking to establish that natural expansion relatively soon after this banshee harass. And of course, if this Banshee Harass doesn't work out as well as it did in game number 1, then we may see a pretty one-sided game in favor of Dimaga. But if it works out, look for Dimaga to scramble his forces, look for him to figure out some way to defend against it, and it's going to probably be a very cutthroat, very close game. Zergling here, just testing the front door once again, trying to do a scout off, but of course the supply depot already raised, preventing the Zerglings from running in and seeing the Banshee. And oh, look at this, the Banshee had already come into the main base and was already doing some damage, so I apologize guys, I did not see the Banshee that already moved in, and Cloak finishing right there, gonna cloak the Banshee. Oh, wow, the Overseer pops out just in time as soon as the Banshee, the Banshee had cloaked, and the Queens were able to take out the Banshee, and the Queen survived. Oh, wow. That is absolutely huge. You guys might not think it's that big, but that was really, really big. And now Goody's Cloak Banshee tactic is completely nullified. He is going to try to kill off this Queen, and I think he should, but a wise transfusion right there from Dimaga to keep that Queen alive and make sure that it does not go down to a single shot from the Banshee. And just like that, Goody's Banshee Harass completely negated and nullified, and Dimaga looking great. I don't even know. I think the Banshee only killed like 4 or 5 drones. Obviously, I did miss the Banshee attacking the drones, but I'm pretty sure it only killed about 4 or 5. So really, the harass was completely negated. It didn't do as much damage as our Terran player Goody would have liked it to do. And now Dimaga is just going to go ahead and step it up. He's going to go hatchery here, hatchery there, hatchery everywhere. And the question is, what can Goody do about it? He's just not really feasible at this point for the Terran player to do anything except ball up, build up a large army, and then eventually roll out with his forces once he feels comfortable. So I think right now we're approaching that kind of macro stage. But look at this! We have pathogen glands upgrading at the infestation pit, and Dimaga really grabbed this infestation pit quite early, and wow, he's got 3 infestors coming out. So, ooh, could we possibly be seeing mind control from Dimaga? This would be such a brilliant strategy because we just never see mind control ever being used these days. And obviously these infestors coming out so early on with the pathogen glands. And yeah, we're gonna see neuroparasites. So that is the upgrade for mind control. And this is being used to deal with the Thors, the eventual Thors that will come out. So this is such wise play from Dimaga. If this works, kudos to Dimaga for basically coming up with a build to deal with the Thors. I guess Dimaga is thinking in his brain right now, you know, Mass Mutas, Mass Banelings, Mass Roach just hasn't worked in the last 2 games, so I'm going to try something else. I'm going to try to go for Infestors, and I'm going to go balls out to the wall and try to make this work. And he's got a ton of Infestors coming out. That's 3 more on top of what the 3 he already had. So he's going to have 6 Infestors right now with mind control well on the way. But the one thing right now I would really like to see Dimaga get is some Banelings. Infestors combined with Banelings can be absolutely devastating. Mind control the Thors, fungal growth, everything else, and let the Banelings do the rest of the damage. That would be absolutely brilliant right now. But I don't see any Baneling nests going down for Dimaga. In fact, does he have a Baneling's nest anywhere on the map? Yeah, here it goes right now. So he's just thrown it down. So just in the nick of time, getting the Baneling's nest out. Really, really smart, because obviously, like I said before, he needs some kind of firepower to supplement the Infestors. So without any firepower, those Infestors could be very, very weak. And right now we do have the Thor starting to roll out from Goody, and Goody has no idea, guys. He has no idea that there is a large amount of Infestors building up inside the main base. So this could be absolutely devastating. We can see right now he's getting Infernal Pre-Igniter, he's getting mass Thors right now. Every single one of these Thors is completely vulnerable to a mind control. Right now, Goody has grabbed the 3rd expansion, so it doesn't look like he's thinking about making that early timing push that he did in game number 1 and 2. And I believe he did it in 3. I don't exactly recall. It doesn't look like he's going to do that early timing push, and this is just going to further help the play from Dimaga, because Dimaga, if he was pushed right now, he could be in a lot of trouble. He needs to build up energy for Infestors, he needs to make Banelings, so he's very vulnerable right now to an early timing push, but because Goody has decided not to push out, I think this is going to play very much into his hands. Meanwhile, we still have a Banshee kind of roaming around the map. It has, I don't know what that Banshee was doing, so I'm kind of missing some of these air battles. I do apologize, guys. It looks like this Banshee is going to move around the map a little bit, just to scout out. And it's going to see the Overlords and just kind of do a little bit of scouting. It does have 10 kills though, so this Banshee has done some serious work. But for now, it's just going to patrol around the map. I'll keep my eye on that in case it goes to an expansion and starts to do some damage. And look at this, guys. We have a queue of like Thors, Hellions, just mass production coming off the line right here. This is seriously watching like, this is like watching in the post-industrial revolution. It's just a mass units and metals coming off the production line. Tons of Thors right here, guys. 6, 7 Thors. Oh my god, that is so many Thors, and this is just gonna be so vulnerable to those infestors. I cannot wait to see the epic battle. We have a couple of changelings kind of moving around the map right now just to do some scouting. But essentially right now it is 4 base Zerg to 3 base Terrans, so it's really even. We can see the economy is pretty much favoring Dimaga, but the Terran player really not that far behind. 62 Harvesters is a good amount to have. And if we pull the army tabs up, we can see Dimaga is ahead by 20 supply. So really, it's anybody's game. I think Dimaga does have an advantage in terms of the units he's got, because those infestors are going to, like I've said it time and time again, they are going to be the absolute equalizer against the Thors. They're going to shut those Thors down and eat them for breakfast, literally. I guess there's a little tiny guy inside the Thor that the infestor basically mind controls, because it doesn't make sense that you can mind control a robot. But anyways, here we go. It looks like Goody, it's time to push out. He's adding a Raven on as well. I like that. Just like in game number 3, he added on a Raven. And here we go. Dimaga has a ton of roaches, banelings, and he's got infestors, but he doesn't have baneling speed. Oh my god! Oh, this could be costly. Without baneling speed, this could be really bad. Looks like he was trying to throw down a fungal growth, but decided to fall back, and a scan goes down. Finally, Goody realizes, holy crap, that's a lot of infestors. So we're about to see what's going to happen here. Dimaga needs to make sure his infestors in the perfect range to get mind control off. He's dropping off a couple fungal growths to weaken down the Hellions. I like that play. But of course, there are so many SCVs here they can repair really easily. So what Dimaga wants to do right now is drop fungals on the SCVs, and he grabbed a whole bunch of SCVs right there. They're all completely static and non-moving. The SCVs trying to scramble to repair each other, and Dimaga just trying to pick the right battles. He's gonna mind control right here the 2 front Thors, and he's gonna kill them off, because remember, mind control has a time limit. So killing off Thors by mind controlling the ones in the front, absolutely brilliant right now. And I think Goody is thinking, what the heck do I do about this against this build? Oh my god, and eventually the baneling speed is gonna kick in, and that's just gonna make it so much more difficult to Goody to deal with this. Here comes the infestors though. Look for mind control. Oh, we have a lot of mind controls going off. This is absolutely huge. And now some more infested Terrans going down as well. But these infestors, if they get picked off, they lose the ability to mind control. And oh no, Dimaga, his entire army gets completely obliterated. And you know what? I don't know if that attack was wise. Oh wow, we had some roaches just kind of chilling back here as well. I don't know if that attack was wise, because Dimaga didn't have any support for his infestors. I felt like he could have had more banelings. Look at this, he's got 3,000 minerals, 1,300 gas. So where was the support for his infestors? He could have had so many more banelings, so many more lings and roaches, but he just kind of went in there with a handful of roaches and all of his infestors, and that was basically his ace card. And now he's down to a couple of roaches, but there's tanks and Thors all over the place. And I don't care what Dimaga's got, unless he pops out like 50 infestors right now. I don't think he's going to win this game. I think it's just going to be one massive mech ball push FTW. Unless we have Ultras coming out. I do know that there was a Hive. But no Ultralisk Cavern on the map, so it's going to be a Zerg slaughter here. And Goody is going to basically just take this entire series down 3-1. We do have Overlords now have drop research, so that could be helpful against the Thors and tanks, but I think it's too little too late. So yeah, I think Goody is going to win this series 3-1. We have actually a couple of roaches picking off the tank reinforcements here, but no, this is just not looking good for the Zerg whatsoever. Goody here rolling down the ramp with 3 tanks, about 4 tanks and about 4 Thors, and yeah, that's gonna be GG. Dimaga says GG and congratulations, and unfortunately I'm not exactly sure what tournament this was played in. Me and Pain User didn't bother to look. We just casted game number 1, and then Pain User said, all right, dude, I got to bounce. So I said, okay, then I guess I'll cast the rest by myself. So yeah, that was that. And I hope you guys enjoyed this broadcast. Essentially, we're going to be looking to see the HD World Tournament coming up soon. And I wanted to get a couple of pro games out there before the tournament really gets kicked into high gear, because I will not be able to do any more exhibition games while the tournament is rolling. I will be primarily focused on the tournament. So I want to thank you guys all for staying tuned and, of course, subscribing and watching the videos on my channel. Really well played by Goody, especially a nice strategy from Dimaga, but unfortunately at the end he kind of sacrificed his very fragile infestors without proper backup. So that's what cost him the game, I feel like. And we're going to move on to the HD World Tournament, and I might be able to get a couple more exhibition games before it really gets started. So thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in. HD signing out.